Hello everyone, welcome to Tommy's Station. In today's video I want to show some modifications to two Marklin BR216 diesel locomotives. Some time ago I converted a Marklin DHG 700 shunter to two-rail DC, and that's been featured. People are still watching that one. So basically they were bought as for spares only. I paid very little money for them. That's besides the point. It was something I thought, do I buy them or not? Anyway, I'm glad I did. What I've done, I've used a body from one of them and fitted it onto a Lima BR216 chassis, and it's a nice fit. It's been secured. So basically I'll set this one off, and I want to just show you the sounds if I can. Now this has its original Ringfield motor. Well, that's not quite true. It's a Ringfield motor, but I have many in bags that have been replaced by CD motors, and what I found is the metal coloured commutators are much better than the brassy coppery type. They're better balanced, and that's one of the issues with Lima Ringfield motors, is that when they start to run rough, it's normally because the comm is out of balance. So here you can hear the, what I call it, the noise, the sounds. I've done that so I want you to compare it with something later on. Right. So as I said, they were bought for parts, and many parts are missing, but I was able to do something a bit unusual. Here is the comm from one of the motors, and I cut off the drive shaft with its splines, and then I used that to couple it to a different motor, which I shall show you soon. So here is another one. This is one, this is one I prepared earlier. This is another one cut off the other motor, which was in, well, there's hardly anything left of it. So as an experiment, I cut it off and I fitted this into a brass pipe, brass tube, and it's a perfect fit. Nothing had to be machined or anything. And this happens to be the same diameter as the new motor I've used. Now then, here's another little instrument I made. This is for drilling out the wheels. Yeah, it's all fingers and thumbs now. I'll just plonk that in there. Right, so there's the wheel in in a mounting, and that is when I put that in my drill in the cross vise, it remains perfectly level in all planes. So when you drill out these wheels to fit insulation, they don't wobble after. It's a perfect fit. So I'll just remove those and show you the next stage. Let's take that one off. Let's move that one. Right. So here is the second of my Marklin locomotives, and as you can see, this one is complete. And the reason why I showed you the commutator and the drive shaft and bits and pieces is because I've installed a CD motor in it. I'm not the first to install a CD motor in a Marklin locomotive. I saw on YouTube, I believe he's from Holland. He modified, it looked like an 060 chassis and fitted a CD motor. So the biggest problem was how to connect the CD motor to the Marklin gears, and that's why I showed you that cut-off pinion and the brass tube, because the tube fits exactly onto the shaft of the CD motor. And it took quite a lot of measuring, filing, trimming and aligning to get it to fit and run smoothly. I've also installed LED lighting. So what I'll do, I'll just turn it over so you can see the other stages. I've installed pickups on the front bogie, because this is only front bogie pickup. It's very much like a Lima. Then I removed the wheels from the axles, drilled them out in my jig and installed insulation. And also on the one side of the rear drive bogie, I did the same. I drilled out 2 of the wheels and installed the insulation. If you don't, this being a 3-rail, the axles will short on a 2-rail chassis. So anyway, let's put the body back on and put it onto the track. So bear with me, let's hope I can do this. I think I got it. Let's put the turntable down. Now then, this generation of Marklin locos are noisy. I've looked on numerous YouTube videos of people running them, and they are very, very noisy. Some of them not so, but they're still noisy, and that's due to them having brass gears in a metal chassis or metal body, and then in a metal chassis. So let's set this one off. Now the reason why I said I was going to run the Lima hybrid is because this is just slightly noisier than the Lima Ringfield motor. I just picked the speed up a touch. I'm very, very happy how this turned out. Like I say, it was one of my experiments that worked. When I did my Pico Railbus CD motor conversion, Stephen Peaks from My Trains and Stuff over in Australia made a comment and said, is there anything a CD motor can't run? Well, here we are, Stephen. Here's another one. So what I'll do now, I'll set off the Lima. There we are. Now I haven't got a decibel meter, but it would be interesting to see the difference in the noise levels of these 2 locos. Now what I've done, I've called the Lima version a Marklin, because it's Marklin and Lima, so Marklin. Now what I'm looking for is a name for my CD powered Marklin 216. So I would be very grateful if any of you can come up with a name for it, because I'm a bit stuck. I can't call it a Mark Sid. I don't know. I will really welcome any suggestions. Now, the CD motor that I installed in the Marklin was earmarked for this Lima, but because it runs so well, I thought I'll have an experiment and try the CD motor in the Marklin. And I'm glad I did. It worked out really well. So we'll bring it to a stop. There we are. So thank you for watching. Bye now.